All right, let's dive into a really big idea that's getting a lot of people talking north of Anchorage. We're talking about the push to create a completely new, independent school district. So, what's this all about? Let's get into it.
You know, what's really wild is that this is not a new conversation. Not even close. This question right here about controlling your own destiny was being asked almost 50 years ago. It just goes to show you how deep this desire for local control really runs.
So, to really wrap our heads around this whole proposal, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at where this idea came from, talk about the problems it's trying to solve, and then we'll really dig into the solution, which is built on three main pillars. Okay, first thing you need to know, this push for a new school district isn't happening in a vacuum. It's actually a huge part of a bigger movement known as Eaglexit. And this idea has some seriously deep roots, going all the way back to 1974, when there was actually a successful vote to detach from Anchorage, even if it didn't last long. So, what's the big problem here? I mean, what's the issue that this new district is supposed to fix? Well, if you ask the folks who support this, they'll tell you it all comes down to the current Anchorage School District, or ASD. And they'll say it's just too big and, frankly, not performing well enough. And wow, just look at the difference in scale here. It's pretty dramatic, right? You've got the massive Anchorage School District on one side, and then this much, much smaller proposed district on the other. The argument is simple. The current system is just too huge to be manageable and to really respond to what local communities need. So the case for making a change really hinges on these key points. Proponents feel like they don't have a real voice on the school board. They point to state rankings and say, hey, test scores are low, even though spending per kid is one of the highest in the country. And a big one is curriculum, a feeling that what's being taught doesn't always line up with local community values. So in response to all that, the proposal isn't just to create a smaller copy of the same old system. No, what they're putting on the table is a totally different model for how a school district can even work. So here's the big idea, the real game changer, an all-charter district. What does that mean? It means every single school would be a public charter school. The vision is to build a system from the ground up that's all about choice, specialization, and direct control by the community. Let's dig into the first big pillar of this whole thing, and it's a pretty radical idea because it completely flips the script on the typical top-down structure that most of us are used to. And check this out. This is how that power structure would work. They're basically flipping the pyramid upside down. Instead of everything coming down from a central school board, the power starts with the community, with parents and staff. They form committees at each school, and get this, those committees hire and manage their own principals. So authority flows up, not down. So what does this all mean in practice? Well, it means the whole system is designed to get the community deeply involved. It means you could have all kinds of different schools, some focused on STEM, others on the arts or career tech, all designed and run by local boards of parents and staff. Plus, the main school board members, they'd be elected from local neighborhoods, not from all over, giving parents a much more direct voice. Okay, on to the second pillar. The argument here is that this new model won't just feel more local, it will actually deliver better academic results. And proponents say they have a proven model to back that claim up. And here it is. This is the single most powerful statistic they point to. A 2023 Harvard study looked at charter schools all across the country, and Alaska's came out number one, the best in the nation. So the thinking is, why wouldn't you build an entire district around a model that's already proven to be the top performer? And to really drive that point home, it's not just some abstract statewide statistic. It turns out the top-ranked public school in all of Alaska is Eagle Academy, a charter school that's located right in their community. It's basically the living, breathing blueprint for what they want to do district-wide. Now, you might be thinking, does all this variety mean it's just a free-for-all? Not at all. The plan actually mandates a strong, consistent core curriculum. Every single school, no matter its special focus, has to teach these core subjects to make sure all kids are hitting and hopefully blowing past the state's education standards.
All right, pillar number 3. This is where we get into the nuts and bolts. Changing the business of how a school district is run. The focus here is all on smart finances, being efficient, and being incredibly transparent.
This right here is a really fundamental shift in how they think about money. Proponents are really critical of the current use-it-or-lose-it system, where schools feel pressured to spend every last dime. The new model would be more like how you run a business, or even your own household budget. Schools could actually manage their own money and save up for big projects or for a rainy day. And transparency is a huge piece of this. The plan says that every school will have to publicly report key information, We're talking class sizes, waitlist numbers, and detailed finances showing exactly where the money is coming from and where it's going. The idea is to give parents a level of insight into their school's operations that they just don't have right now. Now, making all this choice real is another thing, and that's where this comes in. You can't have school choice if kids can't get to the schools, right? So the plan includes a district-wide bus service. This is absolutely key to making sure a student can attend any school they choose, not just the one down the street.
So, when you put it all together, you've got this radical local control, this intense focus on high academic standards, and a whole new model for management. What is the end game? What's the ultimate vision?
Well, it really boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. The goal, plain and simple, is to create a system where every parent has the real power to choose the school and the educational environment that is the absolute best fit for their kid.
And that really brings us to the big question that this whole proposal puts on the table. This entire movement, with all its history and its innovative structure, is built around achieving that one guiding principle. And it leaves all of us to think about, what does true school choice really look like?